All right, well, let me say hello and welcome to each and every one of you. Doug here with the LincolnList.com, and I want to welcome you to another daily edition, the floor edition, because I am trading stocks on the floor of an Airbnb while I travel. But no matter where I'm at, I'm always live streaming. I'm always talking about stocks as long as I've got an internet connection. So welcome to Stock Market Mutterings. My guarantee to you guys is always, I will take a grope in the murkiness and try to make some sense out of the stock market, which can be very difficult at times because it was senseless. Example today, very senseless. And I'll try to provide you with some quality trade setups, and we've been doing really good with that lately. So if you guys need some help, make sure that you click the link above or go to the website. Click on the trade room. You can trade with us live each day the market's open. Now I come to you, day 4 here of the grizzle. I'm not going to shave. As long as I'm on my motorcycle road trip, I'm not going to shave. And I'm really tired, obviously, but I don't have a choice because every day after the market, I do these mutterings first, and then I'm out riding. And it's like 100 degrees here in Utah. I mean, it is smoking hot, and I'm out in the desert doing a lot of this riding, and there's just like virtually no shade. But I tell you what, it is totally awesome because yesterday I went to this place, it had this waterfall. You rode my motorcycle through a waterfall. I've never done that. I mean, it was so awesome. It was totally worth it. I was burning up, but it was fun. So anyway, if we kind of go back yesterday, we were talking about maybe entertaining the short idea on a few circumstances, and that was looking at some of these tech names, especially if they gap up. You know, this market's constantly been throwing gap ups, and then it's been fading. And I said, you know what, if they start to gap up, and this is what I want to take a look at. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, it took off right from the open, and this stuff started dumping. I mean, you take a look at things like Nvidia. I mean, let me pull up some intraday charts here. It won't reflect that on a daily. Just straight down here. Things like TTD. These betas that we've been trading over and over again. Straight down here. Netflix just washed out big time. I mean, all of these things, Apple, Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, they just all took a dive right from the start, as well as the market. I mean, it looked like, okay, here we go. And this is the second time we've really seen that aggressive selling. So once we hit that short-term target, I'm like, this is what I was thinking is probably going to happen. Not saying we're going to crash, but we're probably going to see a little bit of a pullback, maybe a tracement into the 295s, maybe even as low as 280, who knows? But some of these could, in fact, use a cool-off. And it would be nice if they pulled back a little bit, and you could kind of rebuy them and swing them out for a little longer. That part was good. And I tell you what, I'm going to say right now, I totally got fooled here. I got played like a fiddle. Not just a fiddle, I got played like the Charlie Daniels band, Devil Went Down to Georgia fiddle. That kind of hardcore fiddle playing. I mean, the market totally David Copperfield, Charlie Daniels band fiddled me right to the, just as hardcore as someone can get suckered. I got it. They played me. They got me, guys. Today, the market got me. And that's all there is to it. And sometimes you have those days. You fooled me. And some of you probably don't even remember that song. Devil Went Down to Georgia. Whew, before your time. That was a big song. Google it. Anyway, here's why. I had the right idea with all of this. But what had happened is once I got the short, I had like a short on Apple and everything, and it worked out okay. It covered up, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. The problem is I didn't think too much about the bounce. The way the aggression was, I figured we'll bounce a little bit, but we're probably just going to kind of slide out. So there were some people in the room taking some scalps, and I was mentioning we should just scalp. If we're going to do some longs, we'll just scalp. I don't see full check mark days. I don't see the market coming back up. And man, was I wrong. And not only, it did. This was like the biggest check mark day in the history of check marks, that this thing recovered from a massive, massive sell-off. I mean, this thing right here, I think the Dow here starts 25 380s, you know, and ends up all the way down like 400 points straight, just drops, and then turns around and goes back 400, then tacks on 500 more on top of that. It's like 1,000 points almost swing from the lows there. Yeah, I just 600 points. I mean, Jeez. What a freaking rally. Oh my goodness. Man. And again, that takes me back to where we were talking about the last couple of weeks, is every single sell-off doesn't even last. I mean, this thing couldn't finish out the day. And by the time I recognized this, I had no longs. I was just, well, they just priced me right out. There we go again. So I guess the thing here was, I mean, you don't get hurt financially with these things. It's just when I look at this, it's the opportunity cost. Like, boy, was there ever an opportunity to seize a day like this where check marks were galore and you saw unbelievable rallies? I mean, just sickening rallies. And when you don't have any longs on there, that means this is day trades we're talking about. Swings are different. Wow. Gosh. Oh, man. Tired. But anyway, I got to finish this up because I got to get out here in this 100-degree heat, ride some more, and get as much footage as I can. So let's talk about these stocks. I really, really like, let me get up off the floor. Oh, I'm so stiff. But I could sleep here. I want to go back to Netflix. I've been talking about this one a lot, and I'm saying, hey, look, this should bounce. And when you look at the daily chart, this one was already rolling over substantially prior to. So you've had this was sitting there at all-time highs just about a week ago, at which time it's given up about $50. Hit a low. We actually went under 400 today in just a few days. And like, even if you go through a correction, it's unlike that these things go straight down. I was like, at some point, this thing's going to have a couple of bounce days or really going to kick it in gear. You might be seeing that here because it finally looks to me, chart-wise, that this thing has capitulated. Like, it hit a bottom here, and like this with a lot of other stocks, it came off the bottom, not just bouncing, but vicious bouncing, going 398 to almost 412 to the 420s at the close. Man, it's like $22 bounce. This is what I'm talking about. These bounces were right there in the palm of our hands today. My hands. I hope your hands got some in the palms of your hands. My palm is empty. I can't believe these bounces. Oh, and I missed this stuff. Devin went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. He was in a bind because he was way behind. He was willing to make a deal. He says, Dougie, you're getting your fiddle played. You better get long. You got long and you were wrong. Oh! Anyway. So, I like this one long. I do. I still like it here even after the bounce. I think you have 440. Yes, 440 in something like this here. I think it shows with the aggression, the strong buying in this thing, that its intent is to go a little higher. Some of these that you see as well, PAYC, P-A-Y-C is another one. This thing is relentless. It was holding up good prior to the sell-off, and then it finally gets hit. It doesn't even last 15 whole minutes, and this thing not only goes back to high, but blows through it. I mean, mega check mark day. And then when you look at the daily on this, it's in pretty good shape too. You know, it looks like it's just going to make it to that 290 here, which is only a few bucks away, and then maybe start working on some of these other areas that we've talked about before, the 300s and maybe even the 320s. This is a really, really strong stock. A little on the volatile side, a little light in volume at times with the spread, but a really solid place. I like this one, and I like Netflix. And the last one I'm going to throw in here for you, just trying to search the value wagon, is a little bit of this QDEL. Not a bad stock here either. I didn't even type anything in. What the hell? I can't even type. Give me an hour. I'll be fine in an hour. So another one here that was up pretty good. Nice vert, nice stretched out vert. Obviously something that needed to be pulled back, come back in. It did that. It's now down at support where it was sitting right here just about a couple of weeks ago, excuse me. This 148 holding well. I could see this one trading back to at least 180, doing the daily chart check mark, a daily chart check mark. So I like this one. So going forward, I like Netflix long. I like this QDEL long. I like somebody else long, which I just forgot. That's how long my memory. PAYC, that's it, PAYC. And PAYC long. And still, like I said, any of these on dips. I guess when I'm looking back at this, one of the ones that really frustrates me is I know I stared at this Nvidia down $27 a share today at one point. I know I was looking at that going, 27 bucks. And I didn't even think to try to long that. Like, what were you thinking? How many times do you see Nvidia down $27? Like, I don't even think during some of the coronavirus correction this thing was down 27 bucks. I know it was at certain times, but it's like, that's a lot. That's a lot of panic inside that stock. That's worth taking a shot at every single time. I mean, when you get to those kind of deep side of range, you got to take shots on this stuff. Now, I think when you see that, you say, you don't know that they're going to go back to high. I think today was one of those days that just catches a lot of people off guard. You can think, okay, you expect to see a bounce, but maybe $1. And I think that's what most of us were doing in the trade room there as well. It's trading on the scalp side. You know, we're just going to scalp these for $1 or scalp these for $2. And then they run 25 or they run 11 or 12 more like the TWLOs and stuff. And it's like, yeah, I just didn't make the most out of that. So they happen. They happen. Now, why do I tell you these things? Why am I not like other gurus? I'm not even a guru. Why am I not like the other people that just brag about $25,000 wins? Why do I talk about that stuff? Or why do I always bring up these things? Because this is what real traders go through. Even the ones that don't say anything about it, they're just too chicken shit to tell this to your face. That we all go through this. This is what comes with trading stocks. You know? I mean, I'm 22 years into this. And there's days where the market totally throws me a curveball. Isn't it ever going to go away? You're always going to have these days that are just like, man, I can't believe it. Can't believe it. You got me on this one. That's just the way it is. It's not the first time. Definitely not going to be the last time. Always frustrating, though. And I tell you what, man. I missed this one. But there's always tomorrow. So anyway, guys, if you need some help with your trading, that's a good follow-up, right? Hey, it always helps. Frustrating day. You need help with your trading? Make sure you visit our live trade room. Oh, I'm operating on air here. I'm operating on air. So you guys enjoy. As always, if you need my help, feel free to reach out to me. You can always ask me questions. Support at thelincolnlist.com. Show your support by following this channel. Subscribe on the YouTube. Click that you like it. Thanks a lot. Until next. Oh, you know what? There won't be a market mutterings tomorrow. I got to bail out of here. I'm headed a little further east, so I'll be traveling tomorrow after work. Got to get out of here. And then we'll resume after that. So, guys, take care. Trade them well. Talk to you soon.